Good morning, my beautiful divine feminines. Welcome to the next episode of Feminine Talks, where I talk about different topics that are important for divine feminines on a journey, on twin flame journey, to fully understand and to fully embody, and topics that are interested to me. And today I want to talk to you about divine feminine and your purpose, your path, your activations. And this specific topic, to be honest, it's something that it can interest any divine feminine, any woman who is on a path of self-discovery, awakening, spirituality, not necessarily on a twin flame journey, because again, twin flame journey is one of a variety of journeys that can awaken us to true self, to help us to tune into the truth of the universe, because spirituality, as often said, is not something that we believe in, it's something that we remember, right, who we are. So today we're going to be talking about your purpose and your path, because I feel that some feminines at some point are confused. What is my path? What is my purpose? What am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to know this? So we're going to cover a couple of topics. It's going to be a bit random today, because for the previous topics I had a lot to say and I had like a list of points that I wanted to cover with you. Here it's more, let's just sit down and let's just chat, because I've heard a couple of opinions here and there that I don't necessarily 100% agree with. So I wanted to give you my take, and I wanted to really give you the understanding of what that purpose truly is. So first thing that you need to understand is that, what does it really mean, our purpose, right? What is our purpose? And I think that there's a very common misconception circling around and cruising around the internet, and not only, most people think and they associate your purpose with something tangible and with something physical. So a job that you're going to do, a place you're going to live, right? A specific setting of your life and your lifestyle. What is my purpose, right? And when people seek for purpose, seek for their path, is that, what am I going to do, right? As a job, what am I going to do on a daily basis? So I would like to break this to you, that all you need to do and your purpose, it's same for all of us. It's just to be. Our purpose for everyone is to become our authentic selves. Most people don't even realize that. You would be surprised how many people I knew and they thought that, oh, but I am authentic, I am in my authentic self, I know myself. Rubbish. No, you don't. Your authentic self is your true essence, is your true soul. When you know yourself, when you are in a place of authenticity, of, self-love, awakening, your soul rules your life. Your soul holds the reign, and soul is a frequency of love. So the easiest way to know, am I authentic? Ask yourself, are you acting from a place of love, most part, or from a place of fear? There's an amazing episode from Brian Scott that I always recommend. You can type on YouTube, Brian Scott, love, fear, and it's gonna pop up for you. How often we actually choose fear. We choose fear because we jump into judgments instead of compassion. We choose fear because we jump into competitiveness instead of cooperation, and so on and so forth, right? So we act from a place of fear. We act from a place of our shadows. We act from a place of our armor, our woundings. We keep wanting external things, external validations, external physical items in this world, be it actual items or relationships or certain type of lifestyle, certain type of friendships, a job. These are all physical things, right? So wanting these things never comes from a place of love. They should always be a byproduct of us coming from a place of light, of soul, of love, of unconditional love, right? So the meaning of life, I always say this, life has no meaning except the meaning you give to that life, and that is the greatest gift of life. But when we say find your purpose, we only mean find your authentic self. So when I say to you, I am fulfilling my purpose, it doesn't mean that I'm a psychic medium and a reader and this is how I make my pentacles. I say to you, I have activated my gifts as a psychic medium. I become a person who is compassionate. I love unconditionally. I want to help people. I want to help people to awaken, to understand. I want to explain things to make it easier for them, things that were not explained to me when I was going through my journey. Do you know what? This is my purpose, who I am. A little bit bizarre, a little bit crazy, a little bit courageous, a little bit chaotic. This is me. This is my soul speaking, right? So this is my path. And I am an alignment reader. If you watch me, you know that I'm an alignment reader, which means I help people not just on a divine journey, twin flame journey, but people to reach their highest, most aligned timeline, right? So to remove the obstacles of the body, of the physical, of the fear, and choose love, choose alignment, choose authenticity, right? Choose, allow the soul to release the fear of the body, to allow the soul to hold the reins. So as we do that, I use shadow work as a technique, right? So I read cards, I connect to your spiritual guides, to source, to the void, to pull out information that you on your individual journey need in order to get into alignment. And one of the greatest rules and the greatest tips that I have loved from day one almost of my awakening was the rule that Bashar shares with us, the rule that he always says that it's the biggest message to humanity for all of us to get into alignment. Those rules that he gives us: act on your highest excitement to the best of your abilities with no expectation of an outcome, right? So that itself, if you really repeat this to yourself, write it down a couple of times, read it to yourself out loud, really allow every word to sink in and really understand what does it mean. Act on your highest excitement. Act on your highest excitement. Right? So what is it that excites you? What is it that activates that passion within? And I always say this to you guys: passion and emotions are our two greatest compasses in life. So focusing on passion right now, what you want to do, it doesn't exist. Oftentimes this society, again, this sandbox physical game, patriarchal society tells us that when you choose your purpose, what you're going to do with your life, right, you have to choose something that is going to be profitable, that is going to give you good money, that is good, right? No. Act on your highest excitement. What is it that you like? What is it that excites you today, right? And a very beautiful element that Bashar explains as well, because whenever he says act on your highest excitement, right? This is the first rule. You have to do this every day. You get up in the morning. What am I excited about, right? What am I excited about? I'm excited about getting up and like doing my makeup, for example. Even though I'm not going to leave the house, I do it for myself. We do it for yourself. You do it for the passion. You don't do it for external. We're gonna get to this, but your passion, right? So today I'm gonna go to the forest. Today I want to do this and I want to do that. And people oftentimes ask him, okay, but I have to get up and go to work and that ain't my passion. To which he responds, and this is the key. This is the key. We're gonna cover this in context of divine feminine on a twin flame journey as well. Why? Ask yourself why. Why are you not excited? It's not about only doing things that excite us, but changing our approach to excitement. We are living in a world of negative Nancy's and constantly complaining. I have to go to work. The weather sucks and the politics and blah, blah, blah. Blah, nonsense. Instead of thinking, I have to go to work, change your perspective. I get to go to work. there must be something that is good about this job, right? It puts food on my plate. Thank you, Source, for giving me this job. It puts roof over my head. Thank you, Source, for giving me this job. Maybe you work in a nice building. Maybe there's a park nearby where you can have your lunch. Maybe you have someone that you really like and you enjoy talking to. There's always something. Everything in life is a gift. So it's not just about doing solely what you enjoy, but changing your perspective, it's coming to my mind, it's for a reason. Do you remember that episode of Friends where Phoebe met this guy, was it Alec Baldwin? I can't remember, that he was like excited about poof, mental picture, poof. That's what we mean. Get excited, get passionate. And yes, throughout this process there are going to be bigger things that you're always going to be asked to be guided to do what you're passionate about, right? And it's also something that oftentimes, when people who are wounded in sessions, they tell me, but what if I'm excited in what I want to do, right? It's what I want to do. What I want to do is stay in bed every day and eat pizza. It's not going to get me to alignment. So here's when I say, but ask yourself why. Because when we walk the path of healing, when we heal our soul, we heal our traumas, we heal our shadows, right? We integrate our shadows. We start to love ourselves. And when you love yourself, you want best for yourself. So when you love your body, when you love your existence, when you love life, you don't want to just stay on a couch and eat pizza. Every now and then, awesome, wonderful. To be honest, I've done that yesterday because I had a very, very difficult day and I was supposed to start my juice fast, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to choose love to my mental state and I'm going to just order pizza and watch a show, okay? And I'm going to go back to my normal life that I'm passionate about, because I was passionate to start this juice fast. It's just that yesterday the energies were very difficult and I was like, I cannot do this today, right? But if you choose things that are not good for you every single little day, you have to ask yourself a question: why do I do this? There must be something within me that is blocking. My soul didn't come here to this beautiful life to every day sit in a house on a couch with closed curtains and eat pizza. So what is it within me that is not loving me enough in order for me to do something better for myself, right? So as we heal, we just naturally gravitate towards better choices when it comes to what you eat, what you read, what you watch, people you share your time with, your friends, your partners, and so on and so forth. This is what comes. This is a byproduct of healing. This is a byproduct of loving yourself. But getting back to that act on your highest excitement, your excitement will always lead you where you need to go, right? As long as you are healing, as long as you are on a journey of self-improvement, however pace you do it, however way you do it, right? We're all different. That's why I said that this episode is going to be for everyone. Because some of us, we're gonna do it through therapy, through self-help books, through mentorship. Some of us through shadow workers, some of us for shamans. But embark on a journey of I want to be better. I want to invest in myself. And as you embark on this journey, that passion that comes from that inner guru, that comes from your center, from your soul, will always guide you towards you need to go. Now, number 2, act on your highest passion. Act on your highest excitement, he says. Act on your highest excitement to the best of your abilities. Which means, to the best of your abilities, rule number 2, put effort in it. Don't just do it. Because when we put effort in something, we're expressing gratitude towards the universe that we actually get the chance to do it. So going back to the example of a job that you might not necessarily love, right? Do it with excitement to the best of your abilities, because you get to. It's that change of the mindset. I don't have to, I get to, right? Maybe this job that you have is not what you feel that you need, but universe always knows better. If you have this job, is because it is needed for you at this moment of time. If it was really the worst case scenario on your path, the universe would remove this. The universe, in its infinite power and its infinite knowledge, what is really not belonging, yes, we have different paths and we choose certain things and we sometimes choose less aligned path, but if it was really the worst case scenario, universe would remove this. So get excited and act to the best of your abilities, because you got to have this job. You got to, I don't know, drive your kids to school. You are given something that maybe you're not getting excited about every day, but it's guiding you towards your path, right? So sometimes we embark on this journey of looking for a purpose, right? Looking for a path. What's my purpose? What am I supposed to do here, right? And again, it's not about what, it's about how. Who you are, thus how you do it, not what you do. The what doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. I don't know how else to say this to you. It doesn't really matter. It's the how. And it's the who does this, who you are in the process of doing that, right? This is your path. This is your purpose. But sometimes, we embark on this journey and we start doing something. We get excited about this thing, right? So let's say you discovered something that you love doing and you really got excited about this and you started doing it. Let's say, I don't know, you discovered that you know how to sing and you loved singing and you started singing and you got like this job, maybe in a, like in a cocktail club, and you singing there every Friday, whatever that is, right? And it's like, yes, I discovered my purpose. That's what I'm going to do. And here is the trick, the dangerous, that I don't even know how to word it, but this is why we again come in with the don't connect, don't attach, right? We should act on our highest excitement, but whatever excites us, it shouldn't define us. It's also about releasing the label. I have to do a completely separate episode, because from a perspective of divine feminine, detachment and releasing the label is very important. But you found your purpose, you love it, you do it every day, but don't call yourself a singer. Don't define yourself. Don't attach to the fact that this is already yours, because we never know. Is it just a milestone, a chapter on our journey that guides us towards our true purpose? Again, true purpose is not what we do, but who we become. But you are singing to become someone, to feel certain emotions, to give something to people, to give a piece of you, to give a gift. That's also the greatest meanings of life. Discover your gift and give it freely to others. So you've discovered your gift, but maybe source, wanting to align you to your highest, most aligned path, will one day say, you know what? You were actually meant to be a songwriter. This was just a passage. This was just something that you also can do, and you're also good at it, and it's also a gift that you give away. But now we're wanting you to move forward. This is why we should always act on our passion to the best of our abilities without attachment, releasing, right? Because sometimes we can get really stuck, and people get this mentality. It's also coming from society and coming from the matrix, and it's also something that has an actual name in psychology. If you know, leave a comment below. I cannot remember, but it's the syndrome that when we do something for a certain amount of time and we're being guided to go towards something else, it can happen in a relationship, right? It can happen in a job. We're reluctant because we start to think, oh, but I've been with this person 10 years. I've invested 10 years of my life, so I'm just going to go on and continue being with this person, even though I know I feel like I don't love them anymore. Or I've been working for this company in this field, right, for 5 years. I've invested 5 years of my life, so I might as well just it's going to be easier for me to now progress than just change career completely. Or it very often happens in people who go to university, like second year or third year, you realize this is not what I want to do. I'm not really interested in that. But everyone tells you, oh my God, you started. So instead of thinking, I know that's not what I want to do. So why would I, do it for the next 2 or 3 years, right? We think, but I've already invested years of my life. I'm going to continue doing it. So this is the greatest example of choosing fear over love. I love myself. I love my purpose. I love life. I don't want to continue doing something that I don't want to do. But no, I come from a place of fear mentality, but I've already invested. No time is ever wasted. Sometimes you're meant to be with someone 2 years. Sometimes you're meant to do a certain job 5 years. Sometimes you're meant to dedicate yourself to a specific field of studies for 10 years and then have a revelation. You know what? I want to do something else. That time was never wasted. The continuum of something doesn't guarantee a value and a success. It's like every day that we put into that and highest excitement to the best of our abilities is a value, and that's it. Every day we could start over in theory, right? So it's very important as you are on this journey of seeking for your purpose. Act on your highest excitement to the best of your ability. We're going to continue with Bashar's role. But remember, it's not the what. It's how you do it and who does it. How and who. Okay? So we covered. Act on your highest excitement. We understand that. Your passion will always guide you to your highest excitement. Sometimes it's going to be chapters. Sometimes it's going to guide you directly. But do what you're passionate about. To the best of your abilities. Right? We've established that as well. Give your all. Give your all to the gift that you received from the universe, to the opportunity that you have to do something. Give your all. Act in your highest excitement to the best of your ability with no expectation of an outcome. And this is a very important part of this rule. When you do something, and I oftentimes talk about this to my divine feminines who start a platform, right? Who change their career and start working with people, right? You do it because it's your excitement. You don't do it to get more views. You don't do it to get more customers. You don't do it to get more money. These are all external things. These are all validation points. Your job is not more or less of a value if one person sees it or if a million persons sees it. And now I have to explain to you why. This is why we have to release, right? And I always talk about this in many topics, that we are like this rat in a maze, right? So we're inside of the maze. We don't know how long it's going to be, where the turn is going to appear, which road is going to be a dead end. But the universe, our spiritual guides who guide us every day, they see it all. They know exactly, right? They know exactly, okay, she's going to have to turn left to get to the dead end, to learn her lesson, stay there for a little while, then she's going to have to go. So they're directing us all the time, right? We don't know what we really, the world, the sandbox game, right? This physical world, our existence is so complicated. We have over 8 billion people incarnated in human bodies, and it's all a chain reaction. And every one of these persons have variety of timelines that are happening simultaneously, right? Not to mention endless possibilities that exist non-materialized in the quantum field. So it's a chain reaction that your human brain could not comprehend, could not really understand, right? So I'm going to give you an example. Let's go back to that example of an influencer. Let's say you have a platform. You feel like you talk about something important, something that can change people's lives, that your messages are valid, that your messages are helping. Now, you see that you got 50,000 views. So you're happy, you're motivated, you do it differently, you do it, right? And then you see one view and you get disencouraged. Why? Are you saying that 50,000 people have more of a value than this one person? Perhaps those 50,000 watched your video and they didn't even make much of it. They didn't even understand. And that one person who watched it really understood, and that one person will become a leader of millions. will become someone who will be the pivotal person in a pivotal moment in the course of our history. You cannot know. You have to release that physical outcome, how much money you make via something, how many people you have as customers, how many people want it, how many people watch it. These are all external validations. These are all expectations that you have to release. Act in your highest excitement to the best of your abilities with no expectation of an outcome, because the outcome is not something you control. And it is especially important for the divine feminine, because we embody the energy of the feminine. We embody the connection to the void, full surrender to the divine. We are the link between the physical world and the spiritual world, because we sit on a portal through which all life comes to this earth, on our womb. We are oracles. We are elements. We're all elements of God in this world, but we're that magic, right? We're that proof. If we're truly in the divine feminine, connecting to our intuition, to our high priestess, to the oracle within, to the divine, to the void, we really prove that sometimes I know I have to do it, and I'm passionate about this. And as long as I'm passionate, I don't care how many people watch that. I don't care how much people are willing to pay me for that. Yes, I know my worth. Yes, I have, my boundaries, but I don't do it to get rich. And that's what I always explain to you guys. And it's so important as well for the masculines, because the distorted masculine for a very long time, he guides his life for external gain, right? So what job is going to be more successful at, what's going to give him more money, what's going to give him better car. Act on your passion. That is the key here. Forget about anything external, right? And here is something very, very important that I want to mention. Some time ago, I've heard, this is specific for a divine journey, for the twin flame journey, divine feminine on a journey. Some time ago, I've watched a video on the internet, and this girl would say, I'm going to give you an example so you know that you're far away from your union, right? And she listed 3 things. I can't remember the other 2. The other 2 were true. I agree with them, right? But first thing that she said, if you're still on your 9-to-5 job, you're far away from union. And I was like, well, make it make sense. If you are supposed to follow your purpose and detach, right, from anything external, your purpose is not what you do, but who you are and how you do it. So how on earth the job that you have, whose payroll you're at, influences your union? Now, granted that us divine feminines on this journey, it is very important to follow our path. We go through journey of activation, and in a moment we will cover what that path in the sense of a job can actually mean. But we're supposed to follow our path, which means we're supposed to discover our purpose, which is discover your gift and give it freely to others. So why would it matter if I give freely with passion, dedication, integrity, and no expectation my gift, and have a day job? It's nonsense. Don't believe to stuff like that. So I'm going to give you just one thing, and one sort of a little, it's not even exception, it's something that you need to know. That statement may be somehow true if you are stuck in a job that is completely devouring you, right? So if you find yourself in a job that you have to do things on a daily basis that are not in line with your integrity and with your essence, right? So let's say you are this divine feminine on a journey, right? Of twin flame, of safe self-discovery, of, seeking internal union within, connecting to your soul, connecting to the divine. And you started this journey working as a lawyer who works with corporations on cases that take them out of environmental crime, right? So at one point, when you awaken, when you see the truth of life, when you see the light, when you start to walk the path, it's only natural that you freaking have to quit this job, right? Because it's low vibrational. It's not something that creates new earth. What you do on a daily basis, it's not something that creates new earth. But it doesn't mean that you have to stop being a lawyer and stop having a job that has a schedule. Right? It's nonsense. It solely means that you have to redesign, reinvent how you can use this gift of being a good lawyer to create new earth, right? So perhaps switch on the other side, perhaps work with people who actually need help, release the expectation of materialistic gain as well. But it doesn't mean that you have to quit this job because it's a physical job and that it has a schedule. It's nonsense, okay? And again, I'm going to go through, I have like a free baskets that I always like to explain what a divine feminine actually can find herself doing. But it's just not true. Your physical job is not blocking your union because it's the lack of purpose that blocks the union. And purpose, again, it's not what you do. It's who you are and how you do it. Again, your purpose is to discover your gift and give it away to others. If your gift is being a bright lawyer and having that job with a schedule and being on someone's payroll, so be it. It is not blocking your union. It's nonsense, okay? So please remember that, because again, it's coming from fear mentality. Nothing is really, we should be stepping into a mentality. Nothing is blocking my union. True divine feminine would never say that or ask like, what is blocking? Nothing. Divine timing. Follow your path. Follow your journey. Act on your highest excitement to the best of your ability with no expectation of an outcome on a daily basis. Be you. Discover you. Connect to your soul. Nothing is blocking. Step out of this mentality. It will happen when it's meant to happen. You don't see the whole outcome on the maze. You're not seeing what's going on in the rooms that you're not at. On the quest of your masculine. Nothing is blocking it. It will happen when it's meant to happen. Release. Okay? So don't believe in those things and people who say that if you still have it, it's, again, if you're doing something that is stealing the piece of your soul, and you disgust yourself as you do it. So again, you're doing something that is against your values, your morals, right? Obviously, you're going to have to release that. You're going to have to stop doing that. But it's not the fact that it has a schedule or that you're on someone's payroll or that you're working for some. It's no, it defies what we're trying to explain to everyone all the time. What your purpose means. Again, not the what, but the how and the who. So with my authentic self, my true soul, acting with... Sorry, someone was calling me and I got distracted, but we were talking about releasing the nonsense belief that where you work physically, where you gain your pentacles, actually blocks your union. So I already explained this, that your purpose, it's not about the what, but who does this? Who am I doing this? Who I become in the process of doing this? And how do I do it? It's how I do this job. You can, through your journey of awakening, you can have the whole same job, but you change how you do it because you change as a person. You do it with more compassion, with more open mind. You actually inspire people around you. You switch from being a manager to being a leader, right? You are a support for people around you. You do it with more joy, with more passion. So again, it's the how and it's not the what. And sometimes what I also want to mention to you, because on our true path, right? So your true essence, your true gift. Let's say you discover your true gift. Again, going back to that rule. Act in the highest excitement to the best of your abilities with no expectation of an outcome. You have to release the expectation of an outcome. Physical outcome. Gain. You have to do it for you. Your purpose, right? So when you do your purpose, let's say you're a reader. like me, right? You're a reader. And we are always being tested on this journey, tested with our integrity, tested with our values, and tested with our detachment from that external gain. So if my gift was activated within me to be a psychic medium, and I hear spirit, I hear and see your spiritual guides that are talking to me, and I can channel messages to you, this is my gift, and this is my gift that I have to give away freely, right? So obviously, when we want to make a living out of that, right, it's only natural that you're going to charge, and you're going to know your value, and you're going to know that, yes, I give it freely, but my time is valuable, my gift is valuable, my existence is valuable. We live in a physical world, and we have to learn to function in this physical world, right? But it's very important, because we're constantly tested, that we're not going to sell out our soul and our gift for these values, right? So you cannot, as you do what you do, you cannot be focused on how much customers I'm going to get and how much money I'm going to get, and maybe I should like promote myself, or maybe I should change. This is the worst thing. This is the low vibrational energy, that people who change the way they read to get more money. And there's a lot of charlatans out there that will, in a reading, we're supposed to tell you what your spirit guide is saying, what you're meant to know to get aligned. If we start telling things that you want to hear, oh, your ex is going to get it, I can see him in handcuffs, you're going to be happy, your divine counterpart is around the corner, we're selling a piece of our soul. We're selling that gift to get. Obviously, more people are going to be drawn to hearing. The charlatans are very popular, because more people, even you can see this on TikTok, people love to hear what they want to hear. It's hard to hear what you need to hear. So people who truly follow their path, their gift, their true authentic self, we're always going to have it a little bit more difficult. So there's going to be moments of tests, right? So maybe collaborate with people who are low vibrational to get more views, to get more customers. Don't do it. Start reading the way you don't want to read. Don't do it. It's not there shouldn't be a strategy. I mean, you can have some points of, structure in what you do. Again, we live in a physical world, but you shouldn't sell your soul and your gifts to the strategy in order to get more views, more money, more customers, and so on and so forth. Now, that being said, as we are activated to our journey and to our gifts, sometimes it's always a transition. I always tell you guys about this. It's a learning curve, right? It's a learning curve. Being, especially, again, I'm going to touch on these baskets, but if we talk about the baskets of divine feminine who are meant to become readers, seers, psychic mediums, shadow workers, shamans, Reiki healers, this is a healer that touches your soul. This is a healer that touches your energy. We deal with people's vulnerability, right? With people's broken heart. We really have to have our compassion, our unconditional love, our empathy, our sensibility on point. We also have to learn to take care of our own energy, not to attach to energy of other people, to fear of other people, know how to cleanse ourselves, know how to do this work. And it's a process. It's not something that you can do in one day. So when you finally realize, okay, I got activated, I'm a psychic medium, you don't always can quit all your physical jobs and proceed on this journey. Sometimes you're going to be in this journey for years. And it's okay to have a day job. It's okay to have a different source of income that gives you, again, as long as you're not selling your soul, doing something that is not in line with your values just to be able to have more money and get yourself a Chanel. But I'm talking about situations when you just need money to, pay the bills, to exist. We live in a physical world. We have to attend to the needs of the physical world, unfortunately. So there's no harm in having that, 9-to-5 job or a side job or a day job that you're doing and you get excited about and you love it and you enjoy it as well. And you know that it's not strictly linked to your purpose, but because you have discovered that your purpose is not what, but who and the how, you now know that perhaps you have a purpose in that day job that you're doing. Maybe there's someone that you're supposed to meet there. And it's going to be one of your soulmates, or someone that you will change the course of their life, or some people that you will inspire, or you will be there, that person, that leader that is compassionate, that is, us, we usually are those kind of people that we touch people's hearts, sometimes by poking it and creating chaos, and sometimes with our kindness, but sometimes we say things that stuck with people for years and change the course of their lives. This is what us, the divines, people who were given the path of awakening, this is one of our obligations towards this world. So again, you don't see that chain reaction. As long as you feel guided to be in this day job, if spirit didn't want you there, they would remove this. They would remove this, right? So as long as what is blocking you is insisting, what is blocking your union is insisting, is not surrendering. As long as you say, Source, I trust you, I trust in divine guidance, guide me where I need to be, guide me when I need it. And it's also funny because us divines, and also people who are readers, psychic mediums, who live a life of service, I always say this, divine feminines who are activated through the journey of twin flame, the biggest thing you need to understand, we live a life of service, right? And that means that we go when we are needed. And I have really experienced this in my life as I was moving, right? So I was moved by spirit to another country because this is where I met my divine. And in this country, every few months, well, maybe I exaggerated, but let's say first time was like 6 months, then it was 1 more year, I was moving, and every time that I would move, I would be forced to move. I didn't choose to move. I would be forced to move. With time, it would become clear to me that I was needed someplace else. I was needed closer to someone who needed me, whom I helped to change their path because they were on a crossroad, right? And it's a life that you have to accept. So release those kind of nonsense thinking, because if you hear, for example, if you want, you want to conquer this journey, right? And someone tells you, as long as you work 9 to 5, you're never going to get into union. Fear mentality. Lady, I do what spirit tells me to do. That's my only job. That's my only job. I wake up in the morning and spirit, through passion, puts signs within me, and whatever doesn't belong, it's going to be removed. I myself pray almost every day, Spirit, please remove all the obstacles that are blocking me on my path, that are not supposed to be there. If it's my job, remove it. If it's a certain friend, remove it. I surrender. It's not my life. It's the core of this detachment from the physical world. As feminists, we have to detach from the physical world, which means I am here for the ride. My higher self planned this up front. My higher self is the puppet master. I surrender to the flow wherever I need to go, whoever I need to help. This is a life of service. This is not for me to like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to, right? Do you know what I mean? Really understand that your purpose, it's not about a job that you do. It's not about how you gain your pentacles. It's about who you are and how you do what you do. How you do everything. How you get up in the morning. How you go to your day job. How you work there. How you show up there. How you show up in relationships. So your purpose is going to be kind, be authentic, be empathetic, be compassionate, speak your truth, speak from the heart, heal, work with due diligence, work with integrity, follow your values. That is your purpose. It's same for all of us. It's same for all of us. And then how we gain pentacles, it's something that, remember what I said before, we have to release. We have to release. It's not our decision. How we gain our pentacles. We are always divinely protected on this journey, especially divine feminine. And I spoke about this in the past when I was comparing the journey of the feminine with the journey of the masculine. Because as feminists, we have to heal on the level of the soul, connect to the void, connect to the spiritual realm. we are always protected in the physical realm, which means that we're usually always abundant. We rarely, when you get activated to your twin flame journey, we rarely, worry about finances and losing our job, because we have to be protected, because we have to focus on something else. We have to focus on something else, right? And that something is way above the physical gain and the physical pentacles. Masculine is a little bit different. They often, in reverse, they often being put through challenges because they really have to shape their character. They really have to understand that mini pentacle can be, if it's treated as a tool, as an energy, it's wonderful and we can have abundance of it. But if you start treating it as an objective in itself and a tool to power, you're not going to get it. And this is what masculine needs to learn. This is what divine masculine understands, and distorted masculine doesn't. Distorted masculine pursues money, pursues pinnacle. The soul sells his soul, sells his values, because he wants power, because he wants to gloat, because he wants external validation. So to them, they often go through those physical towers where money is being removed, confirmation, to teach them the true approach to money and to abundance. But for the divine feminine, we often have it effortlessly on some level, because we have what we need. And it's another thing, understanding abundance is having what you need at certain moment of time. It's not having more or more that you, it's having what you need, right? And again, as long as it's a byproduct of following your purpose, you're never not going to be abundant, right? So we usually have it. And sometimes we are given a day job that gives us an opportunity to not stress too much, to be able to focus on that other purpose, on our activations, on our gifts, on our journey. So don't allow, on that path for that free journey, again, exit the mentality if that something is blocking you. Nothing is blocking you. You are on your path. You are on your path. That's it, right? Now, I want to mention, because again, like I said, your purpose is who you are, who you become in process of life, how you do things, all things, not just your job. But a byproduct of being who you are and doing things as you do is gonna be that life of purpose, right? So the job of purpose, right? So all of us, I always say this to you guys, all of us have our highest, most abundant timeline. And on that highest, most abundant timeline, we are connected to our soul tribe when it comes to our friends. We are connected to our highest soulmate or your twin soul if you are on a journey. They're there. And you are activating abundance from doing your purpose, truly your purpose, right? So that 3D job at one point that you're doing only to exist in the physical world is released, but it's not anyway dependent on your inner union and on your external union. We all have our very individual paths, and part of the journey, again, like a mantra, is to release that and release that control. But when we talk about, this is why I want to mention this, sometimes we get confused, and this is perhaps maybe some feminines, share messages that are a little bit confusing, because sometimes we forget that we don't all have the same journey, us twins, us divines. If you look at the waves are very different, right? We come in 3 waves. I follow the 3 waves, and there's some people that say that there are 4 waves. They usually divide the second and the second wave into 2. Ragita, the shaman, an amazing divine feminine, she divides what I feel is like the second wave into 2 waves. So she always talks about 4 waves of twin flames, divine feminines, divine masculines. But if you look at the ways, they're very different. And here's what you need to remember. There are certain things of this journey, certain stages, certain things we need to go through that are given, right? Certain characteristics. And I also have content when I talk about this. I have to make an episode here, how to know that this is your twin flame and characteristics. I have a video, how to know it's not your twin flame, pinned to my TikTok in case you're interested. But there are certain things that are given. But then other things are very unique to our soul's frequency, to our individual path as a sovereign being of light and as a pairing, right? So we live a life of service. We have a mission individually, you and your masculine, and you together. And more than anything, whether you're going to be a reader or a doctor, have a 3D job, more than anything, it's to rise the vibration of the planet. And you don't rise the vibration of the planet by quitting your, 9-to-5 job. You raise the vibration of the planet by who you are, how you show up. This is why we say who and how, not what. But books you read, words you say, song you listen to, energy that you emit. We help every choice, what we wear even, what we wear, what we eat, what we read, who we talk to, who we share our energy with, it rises or lowers our vibration. And through rising it, we rise the vibration of the planet. And that's our biggest mission, to be. There are divine feminines who just, I don't know, they receive abundance, they activate abundance from family lineage, or they don't even have a job, because our job is not to have a job. Do you understand? Our job is to be, and abundance will follow. Our job is to exist. It's to speak our truth. It's to grow. It's to be who we are, right? But obviously we live in a physical world, and most of us are going to dedicate ourselves to something that we're passionate about, because we have that passion that guides us towards something. So I want to talk about 3 baskets that I believe that, divine feminines will follow. It may depend on the wave. It may depend on your individual journey, right? So we all, through this journey, get activated to our true feminine essence, to the true frequency of our soul, right? Which means that we release the shackles of physical blockages in order to connect to the divine, right? So that means that we all gonna go through activations of our intuition, of us, not necessarily all of us, it's gonna happen same, but your clair is gonna get activated. It's something that all of us can unlock truly. So your clairsentience, your clairvoyance, so on and so forth, you're going to become a very spiritual, very intuitive being, right? So we will all have that third eye open. We will all have that inner knowing. We will all step into our feminine energy, our feminine vibration, right, on this journey. Now, some of us, and that's the first basket, right, will truly follow the path of being a spiritual teacher, a spiritual practitioner, right? So those will be those of us who will become shamans, practicing shamans. We're all shamans, but practicing shamans, psychic mediums, shadow workers, card readers, divination practitioners, Reiki healers, energy workers, spiritual teachers, spiritual masters, channel for divine knowledge, right? Some of us will be guided towards that. A lot of divine feminines who are part of wave 2, twin flame wave 2, become that, right? Because those waves carry as well certain things within them, but a lot of us become that. Spiritual teachers, spiritual practitioners, right? So fully releasing that 3D sort of a existence to live the witches, life of rituals, spiritual practice, right? Those are the witches, the shamans. This is that first basket, right? Second basket is, again, all of us activated, all of us highly sensitive, intuitive, but you might not necessarily carry within you those spiritual practitioner gifts. You might go towards jobs that are somewhere in between, right? So let's say you're going to be guided to become someone who does, I don't know, energy, sound healing, right? Or a masseuse, some sort of a healer, right? Some sort of a, I don't want to make this sound like, because people are very sensitive to these things, and by any means, nothing is superior or inferior, but I mean that something that is more, it's like you're going to be guided, everything you need to learn yourself something, right? Even if you're a channel, you do have to have an understanding of a history of tarot and divination and understand it and learn how to use it, right? It's a learning curve, but that gift, all gifts exist within us, but I mean more earthly, right? More earthly. So like chiropractor or masseuse or someone who is performs womb healing ceremonies, right? So you're not necessarily going to be a completely open channel that's going to be hearing things and seeing things and getting visions. You're always going to get some sort of visions for yourself, for your journey, but on a daily basis, your hands will be more your practice, right? So that Reiki healer, that something very spiritual, but it isn't necessarily, you know, being the complete channel for the divine, right? So being more of a, the first category, it's like a healer for the soul, right? And the second is like a healer for the soul and for the body, right? So you may also be one of those people who work with blockages of the body and spiritual traumas and how they transmute into issues with the body, that energy healing, right? I hope you know what I mean, right? So it's like you're gonna go towards spirituality. You can become a yoga teacher. You can hold ceremonies for feminines, right? Beautiful ceremonies for cacao ceremonies, natural plant medicine ceremonies. You can create communities for other feminines, for other masculines, in order to grow spiritually, right? And that third basket is a basket of jobs that to an outside observer, they seem like a 3D job. So again, it's going to be a 3D job on a schedule, right? And you still can be divine feminine inner union and external union with your masculine, but you specifically were meant to do. It's oftentimes given to wave 3 because they're going to be the builders, the actual builders, not the beacons. It's like the first wave was the initiator, the second wave we're the beacons of light, and the third waves, they're going to be an actual builders. So to be builders, they're going to have jobs in the 3D. So those going to be people that can be lawyers again, that can be doctors, that can be nurses, that can be social workers, that can be teachers, kindergarten teacher, university teachers, that can also be leaders of larger companies to change how these companies operate, to help to switch from the mentality of fear to the mentality of love. Watch that Brian Scott, right? So creating companies in this world that care for people, that don't care about competition, who makes more money. Is this distorted energy that I mentioned. Companies that are not going to care who makes more money, but who makes people happier, who makes this world a better place. This is the new earth. So in this new earth, we're going to continue to live in a physical world. We're going to need people who will have shops, people who will make artisan products, people who will also work on technology, people who will be part of bigger companies, people who will be doctors, be lawyers, be teachers, be social workers, be administrative workers, who will create governments, who will be politicians. Do you understand? So it's complete nonsense saying that you have, if you're going to be a doctor or a school teacher, you can be divine feminine in your most beautiful glory. And your purpose in life may be to teach new generations new ways of being. You can be in union with your masculine who's going to be doing same. And if you're a teacher, you're most definitely going to have a scheduled job. So I really want you to understand that not all of us becomes, shamans connecting to the divine every day. A lot of and in that second basket, what also I forgot to mention, that I put always all the artists there, because they touch our soul, they hear our soul, but it's not necessarily always that direct connection. They are channels. All the artists are channel. That's why art is so beautiful. It's such a beautiful way to connect us to divine as well. So musicians, songwriters, painters, sculptors, whatever, right? But again, that third basket, we're gonna need our architects, we're gonna need our technicians, we're gonna, right? And in New Earth, all people, and the group of twin flames, we come here to help to build this new Earth. So as a builder of New Earth, we cannot all be shamans. You know what I mean? We have to put in that energy, that frequency of unconditional love, of patience, of dedication, of healthy divine masculine, healthy divine feminine, everywhere. Everywhere. And you would know your purpose. And if you don't, stop listening to fear-based messages that you have to quit your job and become a twin flame coach. Start listening to your intuition. What warms up my heart? What do I get excited about? What could I do for hours without thinking, is anyone living? To me, this is it. For example, I love talking to you guys, and I couldn't give a tiny rat's ass is one person's gonna watch it or a million people one day gonna watch it. I don't care, because it's my excitement. I used to talk to myself and I wouldn't record this because I love this. I'm passionate about these topics of growth, of empowerment, of releasing the ego, of breaking the patriarchy, breaking the matrix, understanding healthy masculine, understanding healthy feminine. This is what I'm passionate about. Do what ignites you. Do what ignites your soul. And if what ignites your soul is be a kindergarten teacher, and someone online tells you that you're never going to reach a union if you're on a 9-to-5, don't listen to that. It's fear-based. Source will guide you. The divine will guide you what you really truly need to do. What a sad place it would be if we would all become readers and divine love coaches. There's variety. We have our own unique paths and unique frequencies. Only you will know what is your path. And of course, we're needed. Shamans, psychic mediums, our connection to divine is very valuable and is going to transform this world, and other people will come to us as well for the guidance. And maybe, I will say something during a reading that will create that spark in your soul. Yeah, that's what I want to do. Sometimes in readings I hear that. Maybe you should go to this course. Maybe you should explore this. I'm seeing this. I'm seeing that. And to some people, it immediately ignites them. It's like, yeah, that's what I wanted to do always. But what it is, you will know. Your soul will know. Your soul will respond to the vibration of that message. Do you know what I mean? I hope this was helpful. I hope you've enjoyed this. I got a little ignited because I'm very passionate about these topics, and I really want everyone to understand that this life is not about what we're gonna do. Again, as long as you're not selling your soul, your values, your morality, it's not about what we're gonna do. You can be a divine feminine in union who is crazy passionate about, cars and mechanics, and you're going to have your own shop, and through that you're going to transform the stupid patriarchal vision of what woman is supposed to do, what jobs are and aren't for women. And maybe you're gonna, with your healing energy and with your leadership, you're gonna be working with a lot of men, and you're gonna transform their lives, right? So to stop listening. You are your own inner guru. You will know what is your passion. Just remember, it's not about what, it's about who does that, and how you do it, and how you grow through it, and how through it you discover your gifts and you give it away to others. Act on your highest excitement to the best of your abilities with no expectation of an outcome. every day. I love you so incredibly much. If you've enjoyed this, please like, share, and comment. Follow me on TikTok. I post more content on a daily basis there, some stories to connect with you daily. And if you want to connect to me directly, down below you have a link to Instagram. Through Instagram direct message, you can drop me a message to book a session, or simply just to connect with me and have a chat and talk, and ask some questions if you feel guided to. I do try to find time to respond to messages here and there. I love connecting to you guys. If you really want some quality time, I do invite you to book in a proper session so we can sit down and talk through your questions and your queries and whatever is it that you're maybe you're finding yourself on a crossroad right now and you have some doubts about your journey. So yeah, all the links are below. I love you so incredibly much, and I hope you have an amazing day.